What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? To another edition, to another installment, Monday topic. Well, topic, I forgot the name, but Big News Monday. Welcome to Hashtag Fade to Black. Great to have Mayo back. So let me go ahead with the introduction. So, welcome back, Mayo. And Beast Johnson. And me, your gracious host, Donnell Elamonte Morris. And y'all already know Anita Joe, aka Teach. She's out there in Cameroon doing her tour, and she's soon to be.
Okay, hold on. Thank you, because I was about to go in without saying. We need to give Teach a new, a more fitting title due to her exploits and the benevolent love that has been shown. So, to the illustrious African queen of education and enlightenment, Teach, we love you and we see what you're doing out there. All I'm saying is, can you just make me a royal ambassador, an emissary of music, whatever I got, whatever title I need to get over there and find my true roots, I take it. But I love you, Teach.
Speaking of that, Mayo, you also went to Africa. You was actually in Nigeria. So how was it over there?
Absolutely. Good evening to everyone. It's good to be back. Man, I missed y'all so much. I missed everyone out here, and I missed just being back here. But at the same time, it's good to evolve and to express and expose ourselves. So I had a chance to go out there for some business, trying to buy some beachfront land, oceanfront land. But I've always wished, and my hope was that I retire somewhere in an oceanfront land. So when I told Corey this year, that was my birthday gift to myself. One that I know the generations can thank me for afterwards. So it was more of a business trip to go out there to go get that done, and I feel like we got it done. So it was a good thing. I got a chance to meet folks over there and see folks that I knew already. We are so deprived of what the reality is in other countries that our propaganda media will sometimes make look like it's just horrible and scary and all that kind of stuff. So there was 2 or 3 multi-generation African Americans that were there at the same time I was there, in the same country, but we actually did not see each other because they were doing different businesses over there. So I encourage folks to go out there and go do businesses. One of the sisters had a farm, a poultry farm, and she had been putting money into it. And this was the first time seeing it, so she went there to see it. The other sister has kids by Nigerian American, not by Nigerian, so her kids are Nigerian American, and she went there for some engagement, and also she continues to do business over there. So it's beautiful to see sisters get out of that shell and get out of that trepidations of not knowing what's out there and go out there and explore Africa. So anyway, this trip was good for me. The take back is it wasn't as scary as even I had been made to think, and it was and it's not as scary for anybody else who wants to go and invest and see what they can do in Africa. So.
Well, Mayo, like I always say, money never sleeps, and you the epitome of it. But before we go to our opening statements, I want to point out one thing that I've been pointing out on the show, but I've been lacking on for a while. But if you see our cash apps on the end of our board, gentlemen, if y'all can go ahead and point at your tabs. So if you like what you're hearing, or you just want to hear a request from one of us, just send it to the Cash App. And Mayo, he also have his website. Could you go ahead and explain your website real quick before we go into opening statements?
So the website just talks about me. If anybody wants to know about me, what I've done, the work I've done over the years, since I graduated from college, when I played football, and just when I came out and decided I want to be a people's person, a community person. I want to die to people knowing that this guy came to serve others, not just himself. So, that's what I've been doing all my life. Ran for office 3 times, the Democratic Party. It's all put in there. The work I've done outside the races I've ran, it's all in there. And you can support on that website. The only reason I'll run again is if people should start to support and say, we want to see you out there again. So I leave the website open.
And speaking of Mayo, since this is his first show back, he will be the opener. He's going to be the opening act for the opening statements. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, Cheddar Boy Popcorn, for sponsoring not only the whole show, but as well as the opening statements. So you got the first dibs, Mr. Mayo. Don't disappoint, which I know you will not.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Again, I'm happy to be back, and it's good to see everyone. What I've been thinking about lately, is just the struggle that we and the war that we've had within our genders, our sisters and our brothers since we fighting each other. It took me a while to sit back and think to how long it's been, and to realize that it's not something new. Initially, I thought it was something new, but then I thought about the 80s and so many different times since then when I've heard sisters dog brothers, some rightfully so, about being deadbeat fathers, about brothers that don't have jobs, that can't carry jobs, and that one is, I don't want to say rightfully so. I mean, because it was all pretty much what we knew as black men, and especially when we the opportunities was not given to us, and and the ones who are supposed to support us are dogging us. Like it's almost like, what can you do? And and this is the same person that everybody's looking up to as the head of the household. I mean, we can relate that to. We can say hands with that is why our kids are so. I don't want to disturb, but so we have generational curses and all that stuff, and issues of where our kids are raising kids because our fathers were not at home, and before somebody's trying to do something extraordinary, then they land themselves in jail or prison or whatever. So we've been talking about this for so long, but one thing we've not talked about is how we need to get our units back. We need to get our men and our women to respect each other back. And today, the war that's going on is ridiculous, and I don't know who's going to help solve it. If it's the church, if it's I don't know who our elders are anymore. I just know that somewhere along the way, somebody needs to step in and stop doing some changes, because today I realized that back then the message was brothers doesn't have a job, brothers he's not manly enough and all that stuff. And today it's new ways that we're cutting down men. I watched, and I'm not a big Kevin Samuel fan, or in the sense of I'm not a big fan of folks who want to be relationship experts in social media. I'm not a big fan of any of them. I don't have anything against what he's saying. I actually agree with a lot of things he says, but he had one show that I really disagreed with, which he was, and just the tone of the matter in which he was saying, and he was pretty much trying to cater to the woman in this show. Talked about how to find a qualified, whatever it is, a valued man, something, And I just thought about how now there's such a social media lingo called valued man, or whatever he called it, and how everything he said was about what the guy wore, the kind of shoe the guy wore, just mundane and superficial stuff, and I just thought about how much he's making our situation worse. It's already a situation where all we respect is material things, and we don't value the core of a man, or and on the other side, some of our men don't value the core of our sisters. We don't value the integrity, the intellectual capability, the personality. We don't value those things no more. We talk about wanting to value, but we don't show it. We see sisters today that talk about brothers, talking about the brothers are weak, brothers are emotional. The same sisters will be the one that we try to protect, so the brothers will not be beating them in the head and knocking them outside the head. So what do you want? You want an emotional brother who's telling you what he really cares about, and about how you need to care about his values, or you want a brother who's going to be beating you up in the head? Then your brothers and sisters going to have to fight him, and before you know, somebody else is in jail again. That's that trap, that mouse trap they keep keeping for us, and we keep running into. So we have this issue in our community. We try to act like we don't have it or we don't see it, but hopefully somewhere along the way, either shows like ours will keep talking about it in a way that people can pick up on something, or somewhere along the way we got to find a resolution to it. That's my opening statement today, is for us to find a way to solve our problem, because if we don't find a units not, and again, keep a parent or a good household raising our kids, it's gonna be a struggle for all the next generations coming up. Being raised by a single parent is not the best thing. I was raised by a single woman towards the end of my life, not end of my life, but towards the end of my childhood. I was raised by a single mom. And I know so much of what I missed by having my dad around, when I got to become a senior in high school, or when I went to college and all that stuff. I know how much I had to reach out to somebody else, So, and I know it's not a good thing. It's not an easy thing to do. So with that being said, I'm hoping that we kind of try to find a resolution there and work together as a unit. That's my opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. But you also heard that phone ringing, right? That means money talking. He need to change his ringtone to ching, ching, ching. For me, y'all recognize this man right here? Ladies and gentlemen, this man right here is Mr. Phil Scott. Now, many of y'all, if y'all been watching the Alamonte Show on Instagram, this man been having a lot of, if you want to call them, videos of him thinking that he's saying something about this current administration and calling President Biden Jim Crow Biden. And he's been on this tear about vaccines and mandates. And also his last video, he was talking about how the government is getting the Afghans over here, getting them situated and giving financial aid to them as they come into the States. He thinks that's such a problem with this country. But here's the issue. Let me go ahead and go one by one. Let's talk about his view on mainstream media. This was the same man, this man right here, who criticized the mainstream media for not talking about stories about us, that they always talk about it in a different light. At the one time when his show used to be called the Advice Show. News with a common sense approach. Where nowadays it's Democrats' fault. It's Democrats' fault for everything. To the point where I'm thinking that he's an undercover conservative. But you're using mainstream media to get your stories out there. Because I remember Phil from the Advice Show that actually had organic stories, who actually went down to his town in Houston and actually covered stories. Now he's just using certain articles to push his narrative and think that's reporting. Sir, that's being lazy. That's like me covering Beast Johnson's song and saying it's my song, and he gets no credit for it. Or me going with Mayo to do some business deal in Nigeria, but I'm saying I'm the face of that business deal when he's doing all the legwork. So that's one thing out the way. Let's talk about the mandates. Now, there's a lot of mandates that's already going on that already turned to law. You know, like obeying the speed limit, putting on seatbelt, mandates like that. I believe America has been, well, half of America. Just because they got so much freedoms that they could do whatever. And when they feel like they're getting infringed on, now all of a sudden they're against the government. You know, the government have to uphold your freedom and rights, right? Not just you. Because when you feel that the government is violating you, guess what you can say? Well, the amendments that you are sworn to protect and defend and serve, you got to uphold that. But then also the Americans got to understand, and I'm talking about the other half, that also you got enough freedoms and you let it go to your head for you to be assholes. And I already said this countless times on this show. There's a difference between the unvaccinated and the anti-vaxxers. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I said it this morning, Alamonte in the morning. I'm not going to go too far off on there. The unvaccinated should not be mixed with the anti-vaxxers. And for you to sit there and say, well, you know, the government is doing this, is authoritarian. No. This current administration is trying to protect people. That's what leaders do. Definitely in the military. leaders going to do things to protect the platoon, to protect their company, to protect their unit, to protect their soldiers, to protect this United States of America, even though there are certain people in this country that we don't like, but we still got to protect them too. Like you got to protect your kids, even though your little daughter is over there acting like an a-hole right now. You got to defend her. You got to defend your wife, even though she was getting on your ass for some stupid shit. But you got to defend her, right? But at the end of the day, when people are not doing their due diligence, what do a leader supposed to do? He or she supposed to allow that mess to continue on to happen? Or he or she's going to step in and make it happen, to do the changes. I gave you a chance to fix it, to do it, and you still haven't done it. Now I'm going to have to step in. And that's what he's doing. If you would have gotten your shot in the first place, or kept your mask on and kept, did social distancing and had hand sanitizer, we wouldn't be in this predicament. But you feel you just perpetuate all of that. The same guy that sit there and say that the mainstream media is pushing out fear, look at what you're doing, sir. Which lead me to number 3, about what's going on with the Afghans. See, you wouldn't know what's going on in Afghanistan because you, sir, never served. And like I told you in the first video when you was answering the question, where's all those people that vote for Biden, which I did vote for Biden, and I'm not ashamed of it. Whatever service member, whoever you talked to that was trying to explain to you what's going on in Afghanistan, one or two things happened. Number one, they told you wrong information. Or number two, they was telling you the information that you didn't want to hear. So let me break this down to you. When you got people that helped you out, that are allies to you, don't you think you owe them a little bit? Definitely when I know that you got Afghans that helped out soldiers, that helped out U.S. diplomats, they had to get something back in return. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to the United States. So if you was president, Phil, you're telling me that you would have just left them over there, get all the troops and all that stuff after we've been in their country for over 20 years for absolutely no damn reason, and just leave them there so that the Taliban can find out that they was helping us the whole entire time, the whole 20 years, and have their family slaughtered? Oh, it's none of our business. And you're mad because we get them and their families over here and giving them financial aid, which is not even barely going to touch the budget. It's not like we bringing the whole country over here. But that's been going on for years, Phil. But see, if you do something with basic civics, actually look up what basic government do, you will understand that. You would be on this rant. But see, you love sensationalism and you love fear and going off of mainstream articles, which people need to do their due diligence on too, because sometimes articles can be opinion pieces, which is different from an actual article backed by facts, where you don't hear too much of the reporter's perspective. But that's for a different story. But Phil, this has been going on for years, centuries, when we have foreign nationals come in to become citizens. It's been happening for years. So what you need to do is stop pushing out disinformation and respond to me on Instagram. But I know you're going to start responding to me with some BS. So I invite you to come on this show, or I can come on your show. But what you do is pushing our people back further with this disinformation, where you just go off an article that suits your narrative and you push it out, without giving the whole truth. You're doing the black people a disservice. I know your stick. I know what your audience is. The conspiracy theorist nuts. The black conscious folks. Yes, I believe white supremacy is going on in this country, but not to the point of me just reading a part of an article and running with it, and me saying something without truly understanding what I'm saying. So for anybody who support him, be careful, because all those things he said that the mainstream media is doing that's wrong, he's doing it to you. Phil was never like this before he hit 1 million subscribers. He was never like this. But now, since he got 1 million subscribers, let me remind you, Phil, you're not a big-time media conglomerate. You're not a CNN. You're not a Fox News. You're no different than Logan Paul. Yes, I said it. And with that, I yield the floor.
I want to talk about emotions over logic. And a lot of the choices and options that we make in life are either based off logical decisions or emotional decisions. Emotional decisions are valid and they're cool, but the problem is they don't always pan out. You feel what I'm saying? Like emotionally, you make impulsive moves that force you into a position that you might not want to be in the first place. All because you thought to your emotions versus taking a moment to assess the logic of it and understand that, hey, yeah, emotionally I want to do this, but the logic of it dictates that it would behoove me to maybe move in this and that. That's what you get when you actually take a moment to assess the situation. That's how they say it in other situations, businesses and whatnot. Just take a moment to sit back and really see what's going on. And how you feel you want to do something versus what's the best option. With everything that's in front of you, what's the best option to do? And a lot of times you will be remiss in your emotions and you might not feel satisfied, but logically you come out better. And logically you have a better chance of getting what you need or fulfilling the feeling that you want, and approach from a more logical standpoint. But hey, I don't know much, so I just wanted to get that off my chest, and with that, I yield the floor. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it don't. Thank you.
And ladies and like that, we're back. Once again, I think it's my third time doing this. I apologize for me going like crazy on my freaking opening statements. The reason why I gotta say that was, and I talked to Beast about it a little bit on a couple shows ago. When you put out disinformation like Phil has been doing, and y'all been seeing my show, the Alamonte show, and I did a show on the Alamonte in the morning. where you just take a part of a story and you run with it. It's no difference with, with somebody sitting there saying, oh, yo, you heard what Mayo said? Mayo said you ain't shit, and didn't hear the rest or what came before that. Somebody could go and say, well, oh, Beast Mayo said you ain't shit. When he could have been talking about Leroy up the street, man. Leroy ain't shit. That's all a person would hear. That is what Phil and his show and the new black media is doing. And I'm just sick of it. I'm done with this new black media because they think because, they have to they have to go to mainstream media, look up these stories, and then they put it out there to the world, and then they give their opinion on there, and they think that's reporting, which is not. And them not understanding what is going on. Is I'm gonna keep using. I'm sorry, I'm using you and Mayo as a example, but it's like with the Democrat Party, I just know on the outside looking in. Mayo knows it in the inside, so why should I tell him what the Democrat Party is all about? And he's in it.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. I'm not gonna sit there and go tell you, Beast, how the industry is, and I never cut a record. I don't know the first thing about engineering. I don't know anything of, sound check, sound check, but people do sound checks differently. So that's what I think about the new black media. If you're not in the shit, understanding what is going on, have organic stories, then you report it, then I can say, okay, you're a legit news source. I don't consider this show a news source. I consider it a platform where you have many different perspectives, talk about the issues, but guess what? We talk about the solutions. Are we always going to agree? No. But do we always find a silver lining? Yes.
Yes.
And so I just want to say that. But anybody else got anything to add?
I'm kind of feel the same way when it comes to anyone that labels themselves as a vessel or pinpoint location for some kind of knowledge or vital source. Do more walking and talking than then I believe.
Yeah. What about you, Mayo? Oh, I think his mic is mute. Hold on. Let me see it. Let me see if I can unmute for him. Oh.
I got it. Sorry about that.
I got you.
Yeah, I said I did not want to go too deep into this because I don't know how much bandwidth we have for it tonight. But it's quite an interesting topic. I have never really been anybody who. Well, I would say never. Recently, as an adult, I've stopped looking at individuals and in the black community as it's just hard to find leaders. I won't say I stopped. It's hard to find leaders. The only person I would look at probably is Cornel West at this point. And it's hard for me to even deviate from him. Maybe even Van Jones a little bit. I mean, I look at people who are objective. Somebody who is not so much on some line of some party or some particular they don't have this one allegiance outside the black community. And I'm not saying that Van Jones is anywhere close to Cornel West. I'm just saying if it's close to anybody, well, in the sense of somebody who's actually political, I would say him. If it's somebody who's not political but knows politics, it's Cornel West, and Cornel West covers everything. I mean, the brother tries to tell the truth as much as he can. I mean, and I say try because we all are human beings and we all find ways on where ego gets in our way and other things. But one thing I want to make sure I mention is that we as a people either want to keep denying it or we want to embrace it and fix it. Is that we're traumatized in America. Black people are traumatized in America, and we say it a lot, but I don't know if we're ready to fix it. And part of fixing it is admitting that we hold a lot of resentment, and which are rightfully so. And we need to maybe, with knowing that it's rightfully so, find a way to channel that resentment to fixing it. and fixing the relationship we have with everybody else. And when I say everybody else, including folks who are not here yet, the spirit of xenophobia can be smelled into anybody talking about the Afghan, all that stuff. I always try to see both sides of the story. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, no, he seemed like he playing politician. No, it's just there's both sides to every story in life. You might not like one side of a story, and not no, or you might like it, but there's always a justification for everybody's argument. The question is how much are they going to cling to their side and not be open-minded enough to see other side. So I'll take the two issues that I think that you mentioned, that brother mentioned, that I can see how people might follow and listen to him, and how he might think that he's saying what he thinks he's saying is right. One is the issue of vaccine and all that stuff. So, like yourself, I don't know if you consider yourself an institutionalist, but you often could sound like one, or you probably can be one naturally because you work in the institution. Or you're a military man. I mean, like my brother's military, everything he says, like, this, platoons and this, that. When you get an order, you gotta do it. And I'm like, hold on, dude, man, free spirit, I'm a free man. Like whatever I want to do, I do it. Like forget it. Right. Who gives me orders? What? Like America, free country.
Right. I got you.
So I mean, and part of that, what made America so great, and I won't even say great because I sound like America great again. What the principle, one of the many principles that America had, one of the very great principles America had at some point was the talk about individual liberty. Was the idea that everybody can do whatever they want to do as long as they're not hurting nobody else and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of smeared in this conversation because nobody really wants to talk about it. Everybody overlooks. It's a global pandemic. I don't want to hear about individual liberty. I don't want to. You don't want to hear about individual liberty now because there's a world institution or maybe American-led institution with the West-led institution that has made the world say that we have a global pandemic. Which I'm not saying that I doubt it. I'm just saying for folks who doubt that, they are looking at. They have a right to think to themselves. Okay, I thought that we had individual liberty, right for me to think the way I want to think and do whatever I want to do. And, as long as, and that's one of the founding fathers, whatever they,
right.
And that's one of the greatest principles America ever had. But on the other side of that, is the idea that if this thing is going to kill us all, where do we cap off the liberty of folks that, we can just walk around, So the argument is always there. Folks are short-minded when it's on their side. Oh, like, man, forget that, man. The individual liberty for what, But let it be black folks that are being rounded up because, like some asshole says, like, I did science and black folks are supposed to be having this more than, black or everybody else. And science is proving it or some shit. Just allow yourself to get in the mindset where I'm going. And then, like some, so I as not only as a Democrat, but just as the person I've always been as an adult, forget Democrat, part of it is that, I like to learn in science most of the time and overwhelmingly most of the time. However, because I know the principles on which this country was founded on, and I know that individual liberty is one of the ones that actually sounded enticing enough for me to love the principles of this country. At least some of the ones that I love out of the ones they had when they founded this country. It bothers me that is always being washed over. Okay, forget individual. So that's one. The other one I know you're going to respond to the individual liberty back and forth. Like I said, it says both sides. There's both good points on both sides. Now, what are you going to do? Everybody want to get individual liberty, and we all going to die then. So so how do you answer that question? But on the other side, the flip side is the folks who are saying that I've heard a lot of black social media heroes, whatever you want to call them. Like the one I sent y'all, the guy was saying,
yeah.
The idea that and quite frankly, this is something they said when Asian hate came around, and so to some level, it seems like when black folks always get done wrong, it's like we're gonna get you back, man. Don't worry, we're gonna get you. But as soon as somebody else something's wrong with somebody else, it seems like America runs faster in their mind. It seems like America runs faster than like as much as folks in poverty, and then I know that that throwing money in our faces, I didn't think was the cure. And I didn't think again that as much as we asked for reparations, as much as we asked for everything we asked for from day one, now because some people some Afghans who we both blew so many times within 9/11, and today. We blew them up so many times because we were trying to get back at 9/11, and we ended up finding Bin Laden somewhere else, supposedly. But
Yeah.
So these guys that we blew up, the kids, the family, the wives, and all that stuff. I mean, we to be honest with you, we want to be plain. We terrorized them because that's what we did. Because we had ammunition to do that. We are the strongest military in the world. I mean, and we flexed our muscle because we feel like we're gonna show anybody else. I mean, I don't know why. What? My phone is going off again. So we terrorized them because we wanted to show them again the might that we had, American might. And we did all that, but now they're having some little civil war or some kind of crisis within their environment, which is something that's left over from what we did. But we not want to act like we care about their lives more than anybody else. Enough that we give them $2,500. If it's true, the question now is how true is the $2,500 room? Of course, you got to give them something. If you put them in here, you got to give them something to start their life, over. But if you get $2,500 for each one of them, how am I supposed to feel as someone who's my history is ingrained in how you've raped my people, you touch my people in every kind of way, and there's never one time you felt like you're like, oh, everything I've done for your people, I need to set you aside and make sure I get you yours back. But everybody else has always gotten this back. But but this one people that you are, there's always been like, oh, we get you. Don't worry, we get you sometimes. So to some level, is there validity in that resentment that we hold, which it goes back to that resentment. Until we solve it by actually talking about it and seeing how we want to take care of it, we'll continue to have that resentment. On the flip side, and I'm done with the flip side, is the fact that how you want to ask black folks, don't you have humanity in you? If people you got kids and all that stuff, don't you want these kids to die over there and all that stuff? You want to say that, black folks, but the reporters of that, which coming back on the black folks side, is that why is it now? Why is it this is the same America that blew those kids up back then? They're trying to act like, you love them so much. And when you've been watching our kids down in the hood every day, shooting each other up in the hood every day because we lack adequate education, we lack adequate economical development, we lack anything adequate that makes our community rise well. But you want to jump so quick to other countries. Oh, we are the peace around the world. But no, stop it. It's a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language, but but that's where I think it is that I don't land on any side of this argument heavily, but I see both sides of every one of these arguments, and I kind of sit back and I'm just like, how can we get our community to rise up? That's what I want.
And this, I'm gonna say this because y'all know what I'm about to say. I always say it on the show when we talk about things like this, and then we gonna get into our main topic of the show. Well, I always said, super PAC, super PAC, super PAC, super PAC.
There you go.
Two super PACs, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know why the LGBTQ community is getting all the laws and everything passed? Because they got a super PAC. They organized. They got organizations. They also have an agenda. The Jews.
That's one part. Also, they put themselves. They made a deal with the devil. They put themselves in a position that they felt was more advantageous to them than those willing to financially support. That makes sense?
Well, I won't say make a deal with the devil because if a deal was made with the devil, it's like that one famous
No. With the LGBT, yeah, they inadvertently made a deal with the devil.
So, but what I'm saying, not trying to cut you off, but what I'm saying is for that deal, it goes back to what she said. She told me the story. She also said on the show, like way long ago, about when the devil was trying to make a deal with Jesus, and Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." But somebody took that deal, and who took that deal. And right now, as you can see, as the years is going by, I'm just going by what you were saying. As the years keep going on, you realize that it's starting to deteriorate right now. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you in the fact that somebody had to take that deal, but the deal that they ended up getting was okay. We'll accept you. We'll accept everybody that y'all want to name, but y'all have to accept pedophiles as a sexual orientation. I gotta tag that on with you. That's like saying you can be the greatest military man ever in any branch, in any division, but you gotta take on the fact that you can't shoot worth shit.
And see,
Greatest man ever
this
be in
is why,
field, but got aim worse than Shaq at the free throw.
So like I was saying, this is why it's important that we have a super PAC. Like the Jews, they got a super PAC and they organize. That's why they get all of what they do. And then not to mention, they own Hollywood. They own majority of the banking institutions, not only in this country, but in the world. I'm not hating on that hustle. They're just more organized.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, let's go ahead and get organized. Why you think the mafia is still big? You know, the Italians, like the ones that were born and raised here to the ones that still got family over there in Italy. Mafia still runs the unions to this day. You can hate on that, but guess
what? It is the mafia.
Yeah, so and here's the thing too. All these movies like Scarface, Once Upon a Time in America. I mean, you can take up all the Bob movies, even movies that we really truly love, like freaking New Jack City. New Jack actually started. If you actually started the beginning of the movie, guess who was his who he's working for? His supply chain. It was the mafia. Until he finally was like, you know what? I want to branch out. And got his own connect. Well, I won't say he got his own connect, but his boy was the one that found out about crack. And so what I'm saying is, if we can have our own super PAC, one for which I think Mayo, because Mayo actually explained it, because Mayo got a super PAC himself. He actually explained there are two types of super PACs. And Mayo, you can jump in and tell me if I'm wrong. There's one where they actually make the agenda, which I like to say in layman's term, turn our issues into agendas. And then you got another super PAC where it's with the people, where you can groom those politicians into starting at the local level. They get good in the local level, then you push it to the state. Push it from the state, then the federal. People saying that the government's not for us, then guess what? Get the people up in there that's going to do it for us. And those super PACs is going to keep them in check.
Make it for us like that.
Yeah. So there's two types of PACs. You know, one of them is a regular PAC, another one is super PAC. But you follow along the right line over there.
Yeah.
I mean, the PAC is allowed to just push for issues, and the other one is allowed to actually put money into helping out candidates. They can't coordinate with candidates, but helping out different candidates. So, but really, and we have some super PAC that they get so utilized so fast, because once they get to a certain standard, the fear in the Black community, which has always been, is that we have brothers and sisters that will rise up to some certain level or certain prestige in their life, and they will just get washed out. They will get neutralized, because they then join the ranks of the bourgeois, and they're not as close to the streets as much as
Damn.
Right.
They become out of touch. So and that's one thing we need to watch out for in general. I don't want to call them sellouts, whatever, but you see somebody who's very hungry and very passionate when they get into office as a city council member. They start running, the next thing they run for some state rep, before the next thing they get in Congress, and by the time they get in Congress, it's like Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Go any of y'all watch that movie?
Exactly.
Yes.
So, so it's crazy, because then at least the guy in the movie never changed, and he went crazy at the end. But it's over here in this case. Like brothers and sisters they don't give no resistance. They get in there first year or so, second year. You see them, they feel like I'm part of this prestigious institution. Again, it's all about that institution. They get sucked up by an institution. I mean, America is the institution. But within America, there's so many million institutions that we have within us, and some of them are hard. And sometimes we just get soaked up into our institutions, and we forget about humanity, or we forget about what integrity. Like I said, I know that we are not that great intention people that we try to make it ourselves. Every time we go into war, there's some kind of ulterior motive we go into it with. So, and that's not why we should be going to war. That's not why we claim that we are. I mean, I don't remember the last time we actually defended a war that I think Pearl Harbor was the last time we were attacked, and we attacked back. That was the last war that we attacked back. Ever since then, we either preemptively attack somebody or go after somebody that didn't attack us and claim we were trying to defend the war. And our people don't care because as long as we benefit. If I go to Nostrum the next day, the lights are on. Shoot, I go to Japan tonight, get my dinner. Hey, who cares about that kid in Afghanistan? Right. To the show on CNN. Once the show on CNN, let's get him over here, give him some place in Alaska or something. Let's find a place for him. The same people that you were blowing up about 4 years ago, like they were nothing with drones. Obama became king of drones. I'm trying to make sure nobody feel like, I don't defend no politician for any.
He does it. He does it. I'm letting y'all know he does it. And
that's why I rock with him.
And the thing is,
but he keep me real.
Thank you.
And the thing is, I agree with him on the on the Obama thing. Obama was great for that time, but he also had a lot of falls that people don't talk about. But if you talk about it, then all of a sudden you either a Sambo, you're a coon, and all that stuff. But that's how people get better. You have to tell them they're false, but also the delivery too. And knowing Mayo, as long as I have it, has been on this show, and anybody else on this show, I know where they're coming from. It's coming out love, not coming out hate. Because you got people criticizing.
I'm not with the assholes that got stuff drawn up in his nose and stuff. Talking about go back to Africa. I'm not with those.
Right.
I'm not. Anybody can take what they want from it. My thing is, like Obama was institutionalized as a president. And I was hoping that he would be like a JFK or FDR, who are like. They were not institutional. They were like, I'm going to come in, but they were also entitled coming in. They were white. That's what and I think JFK's family had money by the time he got in. So,
his dad's powerful.
His brother was attorney general. They can flex, and obviously they try to flex, and they still killed him. He killed both of them. That's how big this institution is, and that's how when this institution want to get their things done, they get it done. And you get in their way. Malcolm X, Dr. King start talking about the wars. When they start talking about the wars. What they gone, they gave their president, a sitting president, JFK, Bobby Kennedy, while he's running. So I'm just saying, if we don't pay attention to this and say, what are we actually moving and following as a country, as individuals, if we don't do that, then it's on us, and we can't always start pointing hands to like the folks who sit in the corner and like who throw rocks, like the guy he showed earlier. Because they have valid arguments, but my question is, what is he doing to make anything better?
And that's always my end goal when I say these things. That's always my end goal. If you got so much to say, it's that song that James Brown that he sung, talking loud and saying nothing. And that's what he's doing. And he's not the only one. They sit there and say all these things, and I'm like, what you gonna do? It's like being on the side of the road, flat tire, and everybody's complaining like, man, we're gonna be late for the show. I don't know what's going on. Everybody's arguing, and you got this one person sitting there saying, well, if you didn't drove over that nail, maybe we wouldn't have had flat tire. Okay, then since you got all the mouth, what we gonna do? What? No, it's your car. No, you the one that's talking all this noise about what you should be doing, what I should be doing, what they should be doing. What should we do then? Because you always got that one big mouth in the crowd, the peanut gallery that sit there and tells you what you need to do. And for example, I got my Cowboys on. Yes, we lost. I understand.
Two-hand push.
Yeah, two-hand push. Yeah,
two-hand push.
I never seen nothing like that. But I know they've been calling a lot of stuff against the Cowboys, but on that play, it was 35-yard pass. Time running out. It's Tom Brady to throw the ball, so let's throw a flag. We gotta save time. The guy used two hands, and if you can't, I'm done. I didn't watch NFL anymore this year. I'm done. After that, I'm done.
and so
mad at two-hand push.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's a great example right there, because when somebody could just sit there and say, well, if he wouldn't have been on that receiver, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, then you go down. You get
the right way. He didn't touch him.
Right. It's like you go down there, you suit up and do what Jordan Lewis do. Go ahead and suit up.
Bro. Even the announcers were calling for pass interference. So I mean, it wasn't. It ain't like we just out sitting there talking stuff. I don't know if B saw the game or not. So that I saw the last 4 minutes. So
I saw the game.
Yeah. So, but when that play right there, I mean, the fact that they didn't call offensive pass interference, that's what's wrong with football. That's what's wrong with America. People go what's popular. They didn't want to not give Tom Brady, his dues. Like you're like, oh, it's a Tom Brady pass.
No. Well, I will agree with you on that, but when it comes to what's the problem with America, it's all about capitalism. It's all about the money.
True that too.
At the end of the day, the money supersedes everything else. And you see it prevalent in football. They're athletes. They condition their body to take an inordinate amount of extra trauma than the average human being. It is the same equivalent to Donnell being in the military. He is trained and honed his body and his mind to take a certain level of, external force that would cripple a normal human or a civilian, so to speak.
Yeah, so
just giving them an enormous amount of money, so it's like shit.
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
No, you good. I feel you on that. Because I feel you on that too, though.
Yeah. So I just want to use for example so we can get to our main topic because so basically what I'm saying is you got a lot of people that talking to peanut gallery that think they know what to do. I could do your job better, and then when you sit there and tell them like, hey, come on, bring your ass on down here and show me what I should be doing, and all of a sudden like, no, that's your job. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. If you can talk that noise about how you can do my job better, and you're not gonna do it, then shut up. That's basically what I want to say to Phil and the new black media, as they want to call themselves, because to tell you the truth, real media actually go in the shit, actually goes to the story, not just get one side. You gotta get both sides. What Mayo was saying, because Mayo was talking about both sides of the argument. He said he can see both points. Now, if he reported that on his, so if Mayo reported that, we're on both sides of the tracks, talked to people, interviewed them, and gave his assessments. That's what you call, that's basically a journalist right there. That's actual reporting, not just reporting police brutality and you just talking about the family that's affected by it, which, yes, to me, police brutality is wrong. But I do want to hear what the chief of police is doing about it, because if we sit there and report on just the families being affected and not hearing that the chief actually did something, fired this cat, kicked him off the force, and cut off his, or suspended him without pay, I want to hear that. Right. We need to hear that. We have to get the opposing side. We got to understand what led to his report rather than the event itself. So let me go ahead and switch to the topic and apologize for everybody. We was on the road then, it's been a while since we had Mayo for the show. So speaking of like politically filled, show today, we have shows that we grew up with that was politically driven. So I'm gonna go around the horn. What's that one show that related to you on so many different levels? I'm sorry with Beast.
Kind of gotta take that by a decade. The older you get, the more like that. Because I grew up watching a whole bunch of weird, random shit. So, like, the show that showed me a lot about life and just how to interact with human beings and different personalities was this old ass British show that used to come on PBS late night called Are You Being Served?
Hold. I gotta see this real quick. I'm sorry to ma'am, Cynthia G is not on this. This is not her show. I think she's probably.
Can she? Is there any way we can talk to her? Because there she goes again.
Oh no! Can you?
There goes another one that she talking about something, and to me, I see that already as a shot.
I'm just trying. I was reading. whole bunch at one time. It looked
And
like
it's a negative connotation towards black men. Once again,
African
another
green
sister.
card.
Another sister. No, don't apologize, sister, where we are. It's not, you don't have to apologize for having a different thought process or point of view. This is what we should be doing, is engaging with each other when we have different point of views. So if you're saying all these things about brothers, first of all, you're taking a sample that you've had, your sample must have been bad. And if your sample is bad, are you giving opportunity for other samples out there? So because we have 3 brothers on this show right now with a sister who's not with us today. But I can tell you that everything that sisters say about brothers and everything brothers say about sisters, if we try to work on it together and try to be more compromising, we'll be happier. And right now we're not happy because the way that sister, the first comment you put on here was something dogging brothers.
Yes, she said. This is what she just wrote right there. But Beach, what you was about to say?
So we have nothing against. Go ahead.
Yeah, that threw me off because that's all I'm trying to regain my train of thought because that threw me off. I was like, what is she talking about over here?
All right, so this is what she put. She said, Cynthia, please come to Ethiopia, make conference for women empowerment, learn us to stop pandering to black men who doesn't protect us and our offspring. We have the female, if I said, I can't pronounce it, I apologize, president.
Female humane president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be the name of the president. Habesha. I mean, she must have a female president.
Yeah.
And what was the last comment she said? She said she was not bashing men, that she was something.
Yeah, she's just what she put. She said we have nothing against black men.
We are Besha is beige. We family.
So man,
go ahead. I want to respond to her again, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just want. I'm going to go ahead and respond to that because I knew Beast was in his little mode for talking about the show. So my take on Cynthia G, I actually do follow her. The same take that Mayo is saying. She does have something to say, but sometimes she could be a little bit too critical because she think that black men is like the new white man when it comes to black women and
my credit score says different, so
so
she can try another point.
So I'm not trying to make this show into a Kevin Samuel-esque, but some of the things that she be talking about really make me feel uncomfortable because
can we bring on? Can we bring on?
Yeah, because
can we bring on?
Yeah. Yes. Hey, please, if you're currently watching this, all 3 of us unanimously extend that offer for you to come in and actually have the quote unquote Kevin Samuels-esque conversation. But to just make a point, when I hear any woman of melanated form make the generalized statement that black men do not do any form of protection.
Yeah.
As a man on multifaceted levels, as an uncle, as a big brother, as a best male friend and platonic male friend, aka your straight gay male friend, as a brethren and familial brother to people who are nowhere near my bloodline.
So
and someone who has been known to be a person of protection, I take offense to that. When I know you're trying to come from a more relationship-like standing, I just ask that you be very clear in your verbiage.
So she actually wrote something that on here that y'all not able to see because YouTube, they do block comments unless I agree with it. So I'm just gonna read what part of what she was saying. So she put, I can't work with black men. I need married white men with generational wealth, land shared so I can buy a house for my mom. So I know you are trope. I know that you're not this picture that you are. So let me get one thing.
Very materialistic.
Some people in Africa. They do.
I mean, okay. And she's in Africa.
Yeah. I think she's in Ethiopia.
Okay, then she's just westernized, and I can understand that more because
I
she's
think she said
in
in
Africa,
Ethiopia.
so she has a
Yeah,
westernized mentality. So
and then
I can deal with
she
that.
also she just put in some reasons not coming up on here on the stream. So she put Cynthia G told us black sisters we can never debate black men because their opinions doesn't matter to white men. So let me see. So no, I will rest my femininity and not engage in a dusty talking point. Hold up. First of all, Bam.
Look,
Ho.
you,
Let me.
I got this. I got it. I got it.
No. Hold on. Let me say something. Because Beast, I know you're gonna go hard, and Mayo, I know you're gonna.
Rochambeau. Everybody on three. Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody on three. Rochambeau.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Fuck.
God damn it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, because I know Beast, you gonna come hard, and Mayo, I know you're gonna hear with the notch, but for you to write that and still watch the show says a lot. Because there's not no dusty talking points that we're talking about here. We was actually just talking about shows that we grew up on, and you came up here and we trust Cynthia G. Yes, we should debate each other. Yes, we should have discussions. But here's the issue and the problem with what you're saying that you believe that Cynthia G is saying. You're basically saying I'm right and I say so. Here's another issue that I also have with females nowadays is where they think that they give life to the world. No, that's only half the story. How do a tree grow? You plant a seed. How do a woman get pregnant? She doesn't magically just say, I want kids, and now all of a sudden she's pregnant.
Right.
It takes a man.
No. What's the old two? Someone's got a bun in the oven.
And so
if you don't, let's just think about the bakery term of it. How does an actual piece of bread get made? You put your ingredients together, you get it right, but then after what?
Well, I just want to bring it back. I want to bring it back. As long as she got it, we are not Africans. Oh wow! So as long as she has a breath in her, I
kind of don't take offense to that, darling, because I've always been complimented by my high cheekbones and been told by authentic Native Americans that I possibly most likely got some Indian in me. So I just feel like I'm most likely an indigenous Native American black. So I don't take true offense to that, but I do know that half of my family is definitely slave nigga from Africa. So the other half of me, with all due respect, ma'am, no. Because I'm trying not to cuss.
And the thing is, Cynthia G actually lives out here where I'm at. She lives.
You think so?
She lives in the Seattle area. She lives around here.
Oh, you just think so?
No, she does.
Oh,
I looked her up on her profile.
Hey, man, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to black folk. We give that confirmation. Yeah. It's that certain pause before we say it. I mean, you don't know. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I actually did my research. She actually mentioned that she lived out here in the Seattle area. And so with that being said, like I said, and we all say on the show, for anybody that knows Cynthia G, I follow her on Instagram, but I think you kind of mixing up what she's saying with your beliefs. And that's the biggest issue that we have here in the States, also where you hear something that somebody else says, but then you mix your own little connotation with it, which goes back to what I was saying earlier, where you hear what you want to hear and you just run with it, which make them look worse when they're like, yo, I said that, but did you hear what I said after, or what led me to say all that? And so what you're saying is about, you want to go with white man. That's fine. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be what's his name, Umar Johnson, and everybody else. Well, you just a bet witch. And all that. I'm not gonna say that. I got nothing against interracial relationships. I am in an interracial relationship, but I'm not using that as I'm not using that as an excuse to me saying anything bad about it. But what I am saying is that by you saying that you want to date white men, don't use that as a weapon to bash us black men sitting there saying, because one of your comments you said black kings without kingdoms. What you talking about? What kingdoms are you talking about? Because somebody's kingdom, your kingdom could be a mansion and a nice Ferrari in the yard. What it could be for me is just have the nice apartment and a 02 Ford Explorer outside that goes to and from where I want to go, and me having a job working for the military. That's my kingdom. My girlfriend loves it. She got her own job. She got her own kingdom. Eventually, we're going to combine both of those. And I'm definitely going to make my girl happy, give her whatever she wants, and I know she's going to do the same thing with me. But at the same time, you should not use that as a weapon against us, because it seemed like you probably had your heart broken by a lot of men that look like us, but does not give you the right
to go into that.
Like that.
I got you, because I just came this little weird revelation, but maybe it's just me and the good mix of Canadian whiskey and reefer. But I'm assuming, and under the safe presumption, that this is one of your few, one of your first times actually watching us. I'm under the presumption this is like the first time, maybe the first couple times. So you're assuming that, like most black podcasters, we will stick to the trending hot topics of relationships, the battle of the sexes, finance, fitness. And I'm sorry if you came to that presumption during our little riff, though, but let me formally inform you that we delve into the black consciousness. See, that is the soul, the nougat, the creamy center of the black culture, if you will. Because we're not just speaking from American blacks, not just indigenous blacks, not African diaspora, island, whatever the fuck you want to label yourself as in 2021. If you got African, if you got Negro in your damn blood, we speaking on your behalf, and we're speaking with your interests.
So,
go
ahead, Leo.
So she said they would not let us rest in our femininity. The one thing I need to get ask her is, when has the femininity? No.
Hold on. When is it? I gotta pull it down, King. Mayo, I gotta pull it down, King. Because now you wanna dictate the narrative. We came on here to speak about the upbringings and a lot of the shows that really taught us. She's trying to change the narrative. So as I stated earlier, as we all unanimously agree, and I will retort and repeat, if that is where your mind is at now, please contact either one of us. Either one of us. Beast Johnson, Mayo, Almonte 31. You can find me at the Sabbath Soul. My Cash App is my social tag as well, dog. So you can find me, you can find Mayo. Reach out to us and we will organize and have an in-depth, lengthy conversation.
I would love to have a conversation
according to that narrative. But right now, we're gonna continue down the path that we are. I'm sorry if you're offended, but we're gonna finish what we started.
Right. So go ahead, man.
I want to add to what B said. No, I want to also let you know that regardless of how much you're a troll, or you're just trying to change a narrative and all, because a part of our hashtags we keep the same narrative, right? Or we keep our narrative, So
we control
is that we control our narrative. Sorry, we control our narrative. Part of what I want to say to you is that I am sensitive to whatever is going on with you. I am sensitive to whatever whatever is really going on in our community, and that's something that I think that leaders are supposed to do and rise up and do. And if we have to just make our Wednesdays or Friday shows, Black family show or Black social shows and stuff, so we can just talk about this show until we start solving this problem or whatever. I don't mind. I mean, because my thing is, like, at some point we got to start talking about this. But please find a way to reach out to one of us and let's have a show where we can talk to you. It ain't gotta be a debate. It can
once again, we control the narrative, and we are here to speak on their behalf, and we want them here. And Donnell has stated multiple damn times. So if there's something that you want to get off your chest, and you feel as though this might be a good platform for you, then once again, ma'am, gentlemen, sirs, ma'am, or whatever your pronoun want to be, I can't think of them on the top of my head right now. Reach out to us.
All right,
Address it. Let it be known, and we'll set it up.
Let me go ahead and jump on in because this person is a troll. I'm already gonna let y'all know because there's a comment. Like I said, the comments that are coming up because I remember we dealt with trolls before, so we're gonna treat her. So she had one comment on here that is that YouTube wanted me to see before if I wanted to show it or hide it. She put, "I'm not a Negroid. Sex and baby home cooked meals every day shall be." And this her other comment, "But black men want to work as a mother. They will not let black women be a housewife like white women." This what else she said.
Yeah.
Black men's opinions don't matter. Ask Cynthia G. And then
I'm sorry that the caliber of quote unquote black men you currently find yourself gravitating to leads you to that very perverse mindset, whether you're trolling or not. If that is how you visualize your current situation with the caliber of men that are actually to your quote unquote liking, then ma'am, I want you to take Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror, put that motherfucker on repeat, blare it through your entire house for 72 hours, and just stare in the damn mirror.
Until you
because
finally
that's where
figure
the
it out.
issue lies. Look, it's either that or lock yourself in a padded room and take a whole bunch of fucking shrooms and 3 tabs of LSD and play the song still the same. But bitch, the issue is with you.
Yeah. And I this is crazy because knowing that you're a troll, I don't know if you're a troll that's in the States pretending to be this woman, or you somewhere in Africa just getting a kick out of watching this and all this stuff. But you got one serious problem, very serious problem. Like, one issue I see with you coming on here saying the things that you're saying, then you put in the you want to marry up like freaking Candace Owens. Yeah, that's a great person to look up to. And then you saying busy breaking Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson. First of all, we're not running those scams on here, number one. Number two, we're not trying to raise no money to do a damn documentary that's not going to do too much for our black people other than understand us much better, but it's not going to improve us economically or creating laws to protect us, to benefit us, or creating businesses for us to actually bring money into our communities. But I digress. So I see you putting all these comments and other comments that they're not able to see that I'm reading. You got a really serious issue and a really serious problem because I believe in structure in the household. I believe that the man is the protector and he is the provider. The woman, she's the nurturer. She's the one that nurtures, raises the family. But do I believe that she should be standing alongside to, help defend the home? Yes, I believe that. I always, once again, about the military.
Somebody got to watch the six.
Right. I'm all about chain of command. 1 minute, I'm going to use president, vice president. It's going to be a day where she's the president and I'm the vice president. She delegates she tell me the order, I delegate. Then the next day, I'm the president, and she's the vice president. I give her the orders and she delegates. That's how a relationship works. I don't believe in that the man should have control of everything, but the man should be the one when he means something, he means what he says. The biggest issue with black women that I see, but not only just with black women, but with women in general, they always want to stand in a man's spot. But then when the man's like, you know what, go ahead and take it. Have at it. And then when it starts to get hot and gets heavy, now all of a sudden I need you to be a man. So now you want me to be a man because it's now suits your narrative. It's making you comfortable. now I gotta be a man because you want me to, or you want me to be a man because I am the man. And so, well, I'm
You swinging that dick pretty good a minute ago, bro. Keep swinging.
Right. And so, while you throwing up all these comments, don't worry, I'm gonna put them up on the show, but I'm gonna spit some game to you like we've been doing. When you are sitting there saying these things that Cynthia G is saying, realize where Cynthia G is at. She's still on YouTube. She probably got over 300 subscribers. That's great. That's nice. But remember, it's just YouTube. There's freaking people that shouldn't have 1 million subscribers, but they do.
Bro, you doing what she wants to do. I think it's probably Cynthia G probably set up to come do this so you can mention the name on our show. So they can get. I mean, I really don't know who they are, whatever the trolls. I never had issues with them, but I mean,
but you know what? But you know what? When you come, but see, I'm not that type to sit there and be like, well, let's ignore it. I'm not. When you come up on here and you put your hands in the horse nest, that's what you go get some. Because I'm not criticizing Cynthia G. Like I say, I follow her myself. I thought Cynthia G was supposed to make a comment. I didn't know that's a different
no.
Because we never mentioned Cynthia G. Yeah. We never mentioned Cynthia G. Right.
Because she's doing a twofold thing of trolling and promoting. Right. She's gonna keep visually throwing it up in the comments. Right. And then by way of one of us verbalizing. There you go. That's why I kept saying. This comes to the show, man. This comes to the show.
On that, I can say this. Whoever this troll is, and if Cynthia G watches this, we did not criticize nothing about you. We didn't even say anything bad about you. But this person who is a super fan, I know you're not responsible for this person, this troll or whatever. So I want to put that disclaimer out there just in case Cynthia G sees this video. This is probably a super fan, or as I like to call them, Russian bots trying to make heat between us. It's not like that. But for this person that's putting all this,
I want to speak on that. Though.
Let me go ahead. So let me go ahead and finish off by saying this is true. Like I said, I see all these comments that you're making, but I am going to say I'm still going to continue to say this. Me, who's a big Bernie Sanders supporter, there are things that I don't agree with Bernie Sanders with. I'm not going to follow him blindly. I was always told to question everything, no matter if it's your mom, no matter if it's the person that you truly love. Doesn't matter if it's somebody you look up to. If you see something that is wrong, you question them. Nothing shouldn't stop you from biting your tongue to ask the question that you're going to regret later when it comes to find out that you was right, or somebody gets hurt, or screw you over in the long run. So I'm not saying what all Cynthia G is saying is bad, but all the things that you're saying, just listening to her and just not asking all these questions of why do you think that, why do you believe that, or if you feel in your gut that what she's saying is not give you a warm fuzzy, then ask the question. Don't be a blind follower, because what you're sounding like right now, you're never going to find the person that you love. You probably will find that nice and shiny armor dude, a nice and shiny armor that happens to be white, and then find out that he has a very heavy hand and it goes across your face. And now all of a sudden, because I've seen it happen before, you come crawling over to us Black Ben like, Black Ben, I'm sorry. I'm here. You're gonna pull a Stacey Dash.
Baby.
Right. Now you're gonna pull a Stacey Dash. You sit there, you bash black people all that time, had multiple black boyfriends that dogged you and shit, and now you know that the gig is up. Now you want to come back to the black community like nothing happened, like, oh, y'all gonna forgive me. For the first time ever, the black community was like, fuck no. Go back over there to them. This is probably what's happening to you right now, or about to happen to you. If white men is your forte, that is fine. But once again, don't use that to attack us black men, because you do got black men out there that love sisters, like seriously love sisters. I've been next to battle buddies. I've been next to friends. Been next to friends that when white women go by, any ethnicity go by.
Don't get me. I love every kind of people.
Right. And so they see other ethnicity, but when they see a sister, they're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's the only thing they keep their eyes on. But then also I had brothers that only look at white women. I also have brothers that only look at Latinos. They just not Latino, Latinas. They be like, Latinas. That's like when
I know brothers that got that yellow fever, something favorites, boy.
Right. And love the red bones. Because Virginia, we're famous for it.
Love that far east.
That. Yeah. So like me,
everybody before
like with my before my girlfriend, Lisa, if you're watching, I love you. It was the Islanders for me because I was just coming off a relationship with the Island girl, and knowing there's a lot of Islanders out here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go crazy out here. But I did not use that as a tool to bash black women. Never will. I still thank Teach for actually showing me the inner beauties of black women. As you know, as we sat down, we talked, and I'm like, damn, like she's really, teaching me something here about the beauty of black women. I'm like, oh wow. I mean, it really took me back. I was like, damn, like it had me give more respect to black women and to look at them in a different way. But even though I'm in an interracial relationship right now, like I said, I'm not gonna use that as a tool to bash black women. But for you, troll, or for whoever you think you are, I'm not even gonna wish you good on your endeavors. And that's what you want to do. That's what you're gonna do. But in the words of,
I'm gonna get it.
Right, but in the words of Jay-Z in one of his interviews, don't put your insecurities out on us because you couldn't find a good black man or whatever you was taught or heard, and not using critical thinking and using common sense to question the things that you've been taught. You got to be a guardian of your own mind or what goes in your mind. You got to be the gatekeeper. I think that's the only time we use gatekeeper in a good term. But gotta be a freaking gatekeeper of what you're thinking. And once again, let Beast have to act. Yeah,
I think the troll might be a white guy or something. But
yeah, probably. But once again, I do want to say this disclaimer. I do want to say this disclaimer. Then I'm gonna leave the floor for Mayo. I do want to say this disclaimer. If Cynthia G, if you watch this, we have not said anything bad about you. I do think you do produce good content. Is there things that you say that I disagree with? Yes. But at the same time, you do put out great content. It's just this troll right here that's trying to do heat between us. Keep doing what you're doing, girl. That's all I gotta say. You got somebody here who probably watches your show, took notes, and just thought, hey, today I chose violence. Let me see if I can start a beef between y'all two. So, Cynthia, no disrespect. We never made just the first time that we mentioned your name on this show. I just want to put that out there. But go ahead, Mayo.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, like again, once again, I offer the invitation out to anybody who wants to join us in this kind of conversations in the future. But and I laugh because she's still commenting. But I want to make sure we change the subject back to what we're talking about. The point that I want to talk about is like earlier when I talked about President Obama, I also feel like we failed him. Because he probably would have really appreciated us more if we challenged him when he was throwing those drones over those little babies and stuff. Because he knew that he didn't want to do it, but the institution that he worked for demanded that he do that. That's the office of the presidency. Is to protect this institutions over the ideals, over the people. It's protect the all these things, the institution, the money institution, all that kind of stuff. So I think that the way I think of him, that everybody thinks of him, we want to think of him as a great brother. I would have thought that he probably would be thinking to himself, man, I wish my people would just push me to do the right thing. I wish people would just, so I don't have to be the one I throwing drones out on people's heads. I wish people would just come out and rally against what I'm doing, so I can go back and tell people, hey, we're not gonna throw no more drones because people are saying that's what they want. So this is where I'm challenging us to get up. So anytime I say stuff like that about Obama, Democratic Party, or even Trump and the rest of the, I don't want to say a-holes, but
I say assholes.
Well, I'm always trying to be nice, because it's part of life is being nice to each other. If you want people to be nice to us, you gotta be nice to people. So one of the things that I know is that
I am civil and respectful. That's what decorum dictates.
That's what I was trying to get
Just like it says, honor your mother and father. It say like them, and it say love them. It says honor. That's just a nice way of saying respect.
Yeah. So I mean, so I just wanted to go back to that, in opposed to letting somebody carry our conversation where it's not trying to go. But it's entertaining for a few minutes to read somebody just try to troll us, and I've not had that.
Look here.
But
look here, ma'am. Look here, ma'am. Since you out here to the troll. Since you out here talking about cash apps, you see all our cash apps at the bottom. All you got to do to show your sincerity and your genuine interest in this conversation and narrative is cash app us something. We ain't
my birthday's coming up,
so
my birthday comes up on my birthday's coming up on September 16th. So you talk about that 150. You say you pay her every month 150. Why don't you go ahead and give us 150? Let's see what you talk about. And also, you got the cash symbol in the wrong position.
I'm a simple nigga. I take $10.
Might as well.
I ain't gonna hit your pockets unless you give me just cause to. So $10. You already said you cash app the other 400. Shit, what's $10? Yeah. Obviously, you spend more than that than we in cash app and podcast. I'm just asking for 10. I can't speak for Donnell and Mayo. I just want 10. Shoot me 10, and I believe you with the shits. If not, take the troll ass up under your bridge and go fuck yourself.
She just left. Well, it left. I guess they didn't have that money. And look, we were supposed to be talking about. Look. We were supposed to be talking about shows that we grew up with, and then we was sidetracked with this. But I guess, like they say, when you start talking about money, you go see who got it. You see who got the money is when they leave the room.
You know what though? I can make it work. Hold on. Just like most of the shows that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s, what was the general premise? You start off trailing down this general path of tranquility and conformity. And then out of nowhere, i.e. Family Matters, Steve Urkel, shit go left.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me do it for camera. Shit go left. and how they say zany tails and tail. And then but it veers right back into the lane, and you end up having a South Park moment where you learn something. Where people are educated, enlightened, and hopefully inspired.
I'm just crazy. So anybody who's expecting,
I could have been a preacher. I'll make it work, baby. I'll make it work. Give me any scripture. I'm gonna get something out of it.
Look, it's crazy. I realized something. It will be on a Monday. It will be on the Monday when we have crazy shows like this. And with Mayo coming back, it's wild. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mayo why they talking money. That's why. Yeah. Mayo why they talking money. She just she felt the undeniable presence of just I got to talk that money talk. I don't know why, and she probably came in late too, but she just saw that nigga and was like, I gotta talk that money talk. Like he looked like the nigga that talk that money talk. So I got to talk that money talk.
We always say Mayo. I always say that the money never sleeps. That's Mayo. But it kind of got me thinking about how black shows have progressed to now. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think where black shows was making was entertaining and was talking about society, you have to go to the 90s. You have to go to the 90s. First thing people would say is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, a lot of y'all are going to be looking at me crazy when I say this. I will watch Martin over Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm not ashamed to say it.
I mean, if you're looking for straight comedy without any kind of real subtle real life undertones. Like a relationship in itself, that is a comedic structure and a TV structure for entertainment. Just the hell, they did all. What was the show? White folk did it, loved it. Helen Hunt, Paul Reiser, Mad About You. That was a whole fucking show about a relationship and the motherfuckers that happen to know the people in this relationship. That was the whole show. Mm-hmm. And motherfuckers watched that shit for damn near a decade.
Yeah, and the thing that kills me though is finding out that living single was an idea that was stolen to create Friends. Wow. I was like, what? I'm like, really?
Dude. It wasn't. I'm about to spin it. I'm about to spin it like they did in Hollywood, because it wasn't. It wasn't stolen, and I'm about to get on my damn conspiracy shit. It was set in a similar universe to explain the fact that in Friends you never saw, because you could also make the same point for Living Single. Here it is. Everybody saying about Friends. Wasn't no niggas in Friends. It was one nigga. One nigga. They found the one nigga that by life default was meant to be around white folk. Aisha Tyler, she'll tell you, like, she does stand up about herself, so I'm not being disrespectful. She owns up to this.
No.
She's a black kid that grew up around white kids. She's the alternate spectrum of the white kid that we grew up with. In the hood, they can get away with saying nigga, but they choose not to. That's the black equivalent for the suburbs. They grew up around nothing but fucking white folk. They will never get pulled over by the police. They will never have a bad cop experience a day in their fucking life. It just radiates off of them. Like that was her. But on the flip end, you can also make the point that outside of needed characters and general background, wasn't no white folk in fucking Living Singles neither.
No, and I think they did that show like that on purpose because that was the idea. Like we are already getting all the white perspectives and all the shows where white people giving their lives.
Generally, like as far as Living Single, yeah, that was the idea. But Friends was like, well, this is how we can get away with it. This is our bullshit excuse if anybody calls us on. Well, it's set in the same universe. Like they're in northern Manhattan. They're in Manhattan / Bronx. Motherfucker.
Right. And then also it goes to everybody remember Malcolm and Eddie, the most underrated show ever.
Oh, underrated.
Because
one of the greatest shows from UPN.
Yeah. Malcolm and Eddie, you remember Malcolm from his Cosby days. Eddie Griffin, you know, he did like cameos in movies. You know, everybody remember Eddie Griffin.
He was known as he was known as the best Michael Jackson impersonator and impression as far as comedy went. Yeah, the best one.
Yeah, and the thing is, Eddie Griffin, he also served. He served in the Navy. Even though we don't know.
Well, I think he did say something about that.
We don't know nothing about that branch. You know, that crazy branch that we're gonna whip their ass come the game against Army. But anyways, even though he be saying some conspiratorial shit on his YouTube and his freaking Instagram, I still love him.
Don't be down on people who say conspiracy things. You don't. None of us.
I'm gonna look here.
But you know,
I'm gonna keep it real.
Y'all know how I am about conspiracy theories, you know. But
it's not that. It's not that. I explained it in the sense of structured entities that we've had in our generation and had in our previous generation, being our direct parents and grandparents and all some shit like that. So your Dick Gregory's, your Paul Mooney's, your George Carlins, those type of individuals and entities. Well, that shit don't die. It just gets either reborn or assimilated into another individual. You kind of saw it with Nipsey, but that got shut off real quick because he was trying to be a hood version of C. So it was very unfortunate both of them had to go. But that energy never dies. It's just just finds a new host.
Right.
So that's what you kind of see in the sense of Eddie.
So
It's kind of taking on the more Dick Gregory role.
Yeah.
The show that I would say that I love, and I have to say really, when you said either Martin or Fresh Prince, I dislike. Well, I would say I don't dislike. I don't really like much about both of them today. The more I think about it as an adult, because they were very entertaining, and it seems like Black folks we've always been ready and set up enough to be entertained while we've been But I'm always about balance, so I think that there's nothing wrong with being entertained and being able to laugh as much as we can. But I look at both of them, and the message has always been kind of weird for me because Martin always dogged what's the girl's name?
Pam.
Always dog Pam.
And Pam always, they dogging each other.
Which is still the hatred between dark skinned women and light skinned women.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't like
Pam looked better than me. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I thought
Pam always looked better than me. Like,
just the way they made it seem like something gotta be wrong with her because she's dark skinned and so I never really liked that. Then on the other side, Fresh Prince, the fact that Will, who has to be the bad kid and who's not serious, he's the star of the show. The Carlton, who was like the smart and intelligent and very obedient kid, he had to be the clown of the show. So those two things, the message that we got out of those, I never liked them as an adult when I started thinking about the message that came out of it. But one thing I know is that another show that made me laugh a lot, and I got a lot of good messages out of it, is In Living Color. Them brothers, that's a family right there, a family that took us to nothing.
The Wayans.
Absolutely, I love me the Wayans brothers like the family like nothing else, man. So In Living Color, they made me laugh so much at the same time. They always had that message in there.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is that hopefully BC come back in. Yeah. The crazy backstory to that show was he made what's his name? Tommy Davidson maxed out his credit. He told him to max out his credit card to get all the stuff for the show to shoot the pilot. And I was like, wow. I was like, what? And so having something like having a show where now I remember I think it was last year where people was I forgot who they was criticizing in Living Color, and freaking
people were
Jim Carrey. Yeah, I forgot what it was because I think it was complaining about how the Wayans, Damon Wayans, not Damon Wayans, but Keen Ivory Wayans was looking out for his, he looking out for his sister, he looking out for his brothers.
So many talents,
Right.
Look at no.
Right. Which is my point.
I got to repeat what Jim said. I got to repeat what Jim Carrey said himself. When no white man in Hollywood wanted to help him, it was these brothers. And he meant that literally because the entire production company was fucking family. So these brothers gave him a job and an opportunity. If it wasn't for Keenan Ivory Wayans, would none of y'all know about fucking Jim Carrey.
Right, and the thing is, and that's what I was about to point out. I'm happy that you said that exact quote because he's like all these people sit there saying, well, he was just looking out for his folks. And saying that he only looked out for his family. What other black show? What talent did they push out? And Jim Carrey was the first one to come out and say, "Yeah, I still remember David Allen Greer. I still remember Jennifer Lopez."
Just to piss people off, you got to throw out all the non-blacks just to piss people off when you make the point about In Living Color and the amount of talent that was not only associated with it, but it fucking produced. Like I said, Jim Carrey, Jennifer Lopez, or as you youngins know her, J-Lo, got her earliest start on a sketch comedy show by a family of niggas. You can't say a bunch of niggas, because technically that would be us. No, this was genetically a family of niggas.
Right, and the thing is, now when they was going later to the season, how executives want to take over shows. And King wasn't all about it. And so he basically quit. And unfortunately, the rest of his family was obligated because contractually they had to stay up on there. And I believe Sean, out of protest, because remember, he was the DJ. And actually, he admitted that he wasn't a good DJ at that time, but actually he got better. I think he does as a side gig nowadays. He put on shades, you know, so they didn't see majority of his face out of protest for his brother. And my thing,
he do that.
They were just smart.
Yeah.
They were some smart brothers, man.
That was smart.
Hopefully they get their reward and gravy before they die, man. I mean, they're like the Jackson of
no, they
right.
I mean, they've already. That is a. We don't know the truth about. We don't know the truth about the parents. The daddy could be an asshole. So, but mama did give birth to a lot of children.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can safely say that the Wayans are the Jacksons of comedy.
Absolutely.
Kim, she was basically the Janet of the family. Absolutely. You know, you might as well, because look at all the movies.
She was a mix of Janet. She was Janet, but they treated her like as far as the public, they treated her like she was Latoya.
Yeah.
Well, but she was fun. Trust me, in the black community.
You ain't heard from God. You hear that from me.
The sketch she did by the window and stuff. I forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like right now, currently in Hollywood, they 2 generations deep. No, they 2. I want to say 3 generations deep, but I know for a fact.
Yeah.
I think at least
all
2,
the brothers.
Yeah.
Now all the brothers, the oldest brothers, their sons is in there.
No, the niece of the daughter, I don't know too much about
there's a niece.
Yeah.
There's a niece in there. I think that's Damon's daughter.
But Damon got his son that look exactly like him. It is scary.
No. Well, you got Damon Jr. Well, you got Damon Jr. Exactly. You got Keenan Jr. And then I think Damon has another son. I think the boy from Malibu's Most Wanted is Damon's boy.
Yes, that's his son, and he looked exactly like him. It is so scary. I was looking like, hold up, wait a minute, Dave.
No. The one that looked like him is the one from New Girl.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's his other son. That motherfucker look like Damon.
I was sitting there, I was looking like, yo, Damon, what happened? Like, damn, you really stayed that young? And then somebody had to tell me, and then I heard his voice. I'm like, yo, your voice is kind of squeaky. I never remember your voice being that squeaky. They're like, no, that's his son. I was like, oh, yeah, that's his son?
He's like, oh, yeah. He could never deny that one. He could never deny that one.
But one thing, going off what Mayo was saying, it was all about family. And then also you gotta think about too, other than the Jim Carreys and the J-Los of the world, look at what other careers that it propelled. Tommy Davidson, it propelled freaking Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx could never say that his career would have been something if it wasn't for him being on Living Color. Everybody remember he was dressed at, I forgot, LaWanda. Everybody remember him dressed as LaWanda. And I remember, and he even, and the thing is,
ain't no worse than an ugly nigga playing an ugly woman.
the crazy thing is, even Jamie Foxx, when he was doing Living Color, they was at the peak of their success. You know, the parties and all the people that they associate themselves with, there was around a lot of stars at the heyday back in the day. I forgot who was a guest on the show, and he said that he gave him their audition tape while he was dressed as LaWanda. He said, man, I was trying to try to dress up, but I had to hurry up and get my audition tape. And I was like, man. So even with that, with Jamie Foxx, even with Jamie Foxx hustling back in the day, his career still sprung from A Living Color. He went on freaking tours. He was cameos in movies and even starred in a movie. What's Booty Call?
Nigga, he was Willie Beeman.
I mean, think of the movies that sprung off of In Living Color. Look at Jim Carrey with The Mask. What's the one? Dumb and Dumber.
I mean,
Ace Ventura,
they all
Dumb and
became
Dumber,
world star.
Lemon. No. One of the most prolifically diverse Caucasian actors to ever hit Hollywood. This man has literally fucking proved he can make you laugh to tears and cry to tears in equal measure.
I mean,
as well as confuse the fuck out of you in the middle. And it was our brother that gave y'all
Keith. Hey, Keith, thank you for that. So then also you gotta think how Keenen also got this started. Do anybody remember the Hollywood Shuffle? That is
why was I just thinking that? You read my mind, brother.
Look, I'm telling you, Bale, you remember the Hollywood Shuffle.
I was just about to say Robert Townsend.
Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend is another underrated. Before we go on to the Hollywood Shuffle, let's talk about Robert Townsend because he deserves his roses. Sure. Anybody remember the Parenthood?
Don't know who we talking? The Parenthood. But for most of you black folk, we talking about Duck. We talking about 5-part harmony. Mm-hmm. He does this to me every time. He knows I write these songs in 5-part harmony. 5-part harmony. We talking about this is my song, man. Yeah, it's the song. That's what we talking about here.
Yeah, and also people have to understand too. Robert Townsend,
get you sucker.
Look, people don't understand that Robert Townsend.
You showing your blackness over there, Keith. You showing your blackness over there now.
Because Robert Townsend was executive producers and writers off of a lot of Keen Ivory Way and stuff too as well, and vice versa too. People don't realize that. And Robert Townsend, another show that is very underrated was The Parenthood. I love that show. I loved it because
that was the natural progression of what the Cosbys had established. Like everybody was trying to figure out who was going to be the Cosbys for the 90s. Honestly, it was Robert Townsend. It was Robert Townsend and the fucking Parenthood. That was the Cosbys for the.
Go ahead, Mayo.
Well, we didn't notice. We didn't mention the Cosby Show, and Bill Cosby. I still have form and all that.
Look. I only watched a couple shows. Of Cosby.
I think we talking about because we feel like it's so reason why we ain't talking about. That's why I didn't talk about it because I feel like it was so obvious.
I want to speak on behalf of those folk that have been very quiet and felt like they want to treat it as guilty pleasure. I mean, you do whatever you feel that is necessary, respectfully within whatever situation and climate you're in. But for me personally, regardless of whatever the fuck he did, that's something he got to take to God. I wasn't there, so I don't know. So I ain't here to really worry about it. I'm not gonna disrespect and downplay this man's contributions and efforts to not just cinema, black culture, but to my personal fucking childhood. Leonard Six here. Come on, now those dad. I still like R. Kelly. I don't listen to 12 Play, but I listen to Step in the Name of Love. I still listen to I Believe You Can Fly, but I don't listen to Jeep. I don't listen to none of that shit. It's like, but the shit's like,
but Beast also,
I'd be lying if I don't listen to it. I just listen to. I don't need that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But see,
this is the remix edition. To the song.
There you go.
Mama rolling that body, everybody, and missing, sipping on fucking roll. I'm sorry.
But the thing is, if we go put R. Kelly in that box, we need to put everybody else that's in that box.
I put everybody because I'm on some Dave Chappelle shit. Man, with all due respect, that murderer rushed for 11,000 yards. So say however the fuck you want to. I don't like Lil Wayne. I hate his fucking guts as an artist. As a fellow artist, as a fellow musician, I feel like the nigga ain't shit. But I do not, by any means, and will not and have not, on any form or platform, private or public, ever denounce or disrespect that man's effort or actual skill set and craft. I'm not gonna do that. He didn't drop some shit that made me be like,
you gotta separate
damn, that shit was nice.
From them. You gotta separate the art from them. As much as I don't like
exactly.
I'm not a big JC fan, and almost every day I be bumping like ain't no love, hard to see that.
Especially in the Cosby case, because you gotta look at Cosby case in the sense of people bringing your past back out to the light. The same equivalent, as them old, as the Emmett Till killers and other racist hate crimes that weren't actually brought to justice. So these motherfuckers was damn near 10 days from death.
Right.
But it's like you can't when it's on that public level. You, like Mayo said, you have to detach and separate. As a human, whatever they did is what they did. But if they contribute some shit that was worth, actually made an impact, you can't denounce that.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go back to connecting the Hollywood Shuffle, and then we're gonna go to Mayo's Lounge real quick because he got to get ready to head on back. So my quick thing
I want Mayo to do his. I don't even want to do the community thing because Mayo back. He need that time, pimp. I want you to enjoy it.
I got you. Yeah. So let me go ahead and make this real quick. So even before A Living Color, there was a Hollywood Shuffle, where this was Robert Townsend's movie. Well, actually, both Robert Townsend's movie and Keenen Ivory Wayans' movie. If you go back to that movie, that was an undercover all-star cast where people's careers jumped off from that.
No, that was how you said before. That was the seed. Because for all black folk that love black movies, if it wasn't for Hollywood Shuffle, you wouldn't have 5 Heartbeats.
Right. You wouldn't have A Living Color. You wouldn't have all Low Down Dirty Shame, Major Pain.
I'm gonna get you sucker, Major Pain, Blank Man.
Don't
Be a Menace.
Don't Be a Menace in South Central. Yeah.
Nah, I was thinking of the one Damon and Marlon did.
I know you're talking about Mo Money.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew it was money somewhere. I ain't want to fuck it up.
All right, so we ain't even talking about the Shorter Wayans. We ain't even talking about the Shorter Wayans brothers and Pops and everybody on it.
And guess who else that we didn't mention? Then I'm gonna go ahead to Mayo's Lounge. Rest in peace. Was his biggest movie at that time, and that was Mr. Witherspoon. He remember Winky Dinky Dog. There's actually a restaurant in California that I follow that is called the Winky Dinky Dog, and for that one little cameo in that movie, and look at how his career blossomed. So let's not forget about him. And so I just want to put up that point. Rest in peace, Don Witherspoon. You are still missed. I cannot believe that he's gone. Yeah, bang. He said you gotta grab a dog and choke it.
No. If you go look, because when doing that particular part of it, we gotta do it right. When my love go bye.
Oh, I got
my
that. Bye. My love, and then got some bang. Yo, they were trying to kill it. Though. They was like,
but you gotta respect the fact that grown man was in the background in 3-part harmony. My love, bang. My love, bang.
And speaking of bang. Speaking of bang, let's go ahead and give our boy Mayo. We're gonna go to the lounge. To the lounge, as well as after that, we gotta visit Beast Community. But Mayo, the stage is yours.
So this day we're back here. So sorry to y'all today. I don't have the music today. lined up because we just still coming up the coast of Africa, and and I still got to change my playlist though because sometimes where you at you gotta get the flow. So maybe next time I come back in, I'll give you one of the African songs that I was listening to while I was over there. But definitely one of the things I want to do today is to say whenever we're doing anything in life, just try to evolve, try to get outside where you're at. I for someone who spent about 12 years in Africa, before, and especially Nigeria, even going back as an adult and just going back and seeing different and how things have changed, places I've not been before. Um, it just reminds me about my zeal for travel, for being where I've not been before. So if we at any point want to do something for ourselves, I know there's COVID going on, there's a lot going on, but if you can be safe where you're at, if you can be safe when you travel to the next city over, if you be safe when you travel to the next state over, see if you can do the same thing and still try to evolve, try to get outside of where you're at. Something that does to you. It's like riches that I can explain. So if I'm feeling, I want to make sure somebody else feels it as much as you can. Try to see something different. Uh, Travel, evolve, explore. Life is not about living in one spot for the rest of your life and alone. You got to try to do something different and try to enjoy the resources that this great planet gives us and this great globe gives us. So that's something I can pass over. And if we want everyone to do something for yourself as a gift, do something that's going to worthwhile, it's going to last long. Like I said, I bought a piece of ocean land for myself, and hopefully myself and my future successors, in the sense of next generation and the ones after, will look at this and look like, wow, Mayo did something that was profound, and now we can all enjoy it for the rest of our life. So yeah, I just want to do something big. I turned 40. 40 is a big year, and I knew that I had a little stature side I can use to do something. And quite frankly, it wasn't as expensive as most people would think, because you got to think of where places where people are not running to, and as much as that has been my dream, there's been many people who are in celebrities' dream. They have all their homes by the ocean. So I'm like, yo, why can't I have my house by the ocean too? I just go somewhere everybody is not at. How about that? And I'll be the first over there. So everybody gonna come meet me over there when the celebrities want to come over there. So yeah, that you just have a different mindset, and always got to travel, do something different, learn something new every day, learn somebody new every day, love somebody, give somebody an opportunity to think different than you. Consideration is important, understanding is important. These are just traits that you just got to find a way to dig in and just be outside yourself for a minute. So with that being said, I think all that just defines one thing. And if you look at 1 Corinthians 13, it says the same thing too. At the end of the day, it's all about love. So just love life, love yourself, love life. All right, that's the message today. Next time I'm gonna make sure y'all get two songs. Since I didn't get one today.
Since folk want to talk about relationships so much, talk about what men need to be doing and what women need to be doing. It's a balanced thing here. The best way to describe the balanced relationship is that of the lions. Whereas he may be considered as a king, the lioness is the one to primarily make sure that the hunting gets done. She does the bulk of it. But when it comes to being in danger, you'll see her slink up under her mate's neck. Now, one, it's a dual purpose because it feigns the intention of fear and cowering up under your superior mate. That's how the predator or the assailant will see it. Whereas actually what you're doing is you're keeping your stance low to be able to dart out and attack low. Meanwhile, in the midst of a mid-attack, you can make sure that your partner is protected by keeping the jugular veins and the neck area covered. Another way to explain this would be the meme where you see couple on a date and they're being robbed at gunpoint. The dude has his hands up in the air, unbeknownst to the assailant, he's armed, but he can't tell this because his woman is cowering up under him, forcing him to kind of adjacent to one of his arms like that, feigning, showing her fear of the situation. Meanwhile, her free hand, which would be her left in the situation, is clearly on that motherfucker cot with the thing on the trigger, ready. Just ready for him to get close enough and shot him. That's a perfect balanced relationship. Understanding each other's roles for the situation as well as how they are perceived in the outside world. And using them to your advantage when necessary or vital in that kind of sense. Meaning, ladies, you can be the alpha bad bitch, boss bitch, queen you want to be, but at the end of the fucking day, you still have to be willing to submit, no matter the situation, because it can be balanced. If you honestly making more money than I am in our particular endeavors, then cool, you can be the breadwinner. I'm on some shit like, all right, you want to pay, all right, then you can pay the big bill there. I'll take care of all the fucking utilities and shit. You want to pay the rent, you can pay the rent there. I'll take care of the lights and everything else with my check. You split everything else. Still balanced. Shit, a proper current relationship, in all honesty, and I hope somebody sound bites this and sends it to Kevin. If you are smart and high value, and you find a woman that's willing to engage in a relationship with you, only do that if she's willing, and ladies only do that if he's willing to engage in a threefold account system. Meaning, you have your account as the female, he has his account as the male, but then you have a joint account. Now, that joint account is usually the only account it's supposed to be when in joint relationships, especially marriage. But due to people's natures and whims and impulses, that shit ain't financially savvy. So a triple account basically means that the joint account is for the bills. The joint account is for the rent, the mortgage, the lights, all the shit you functionally need to survive if it was just you doing it by yourself. She can pay her own damn phone bill. You can pay your own fucking phone bill. Y'all want to split insurance like that? Cool. As far as the utilities and the actual functional rent and mortgage, that's the joint account. Your individual accounts, those are for you. So if I'm in a situation and I'm in a relationship, my woman knows I ain't gonna say shit to her if she go get a $1,200 purse or a fucking pair of $2,400 shoes, as long as that shit ain't come out the damn joint account. Because on the flip end, she ain't gonna say a motherfucking thing to me, and she bet not. If I go get me a $4,500 damn bass rig or some other musician or game or tech shit, I fucking think so. Why? Because I'm gonna make sure it's not taken out of the joint account. That's some shit I want. So that's some shit I'm gonna fucking pay for with my money. But our money for the house and home that we have and built together, fuck no, I'm not touching that. And that's how the fuck it need to be. And that's how on both ends. She need to feel that way, you need to be that way. If y'all can't come to that compromise and balanced understanding, then neither one of y'all is the person for each other. Y'all just need to separate. So ladies, if you really want to be out here and get you in a strong relationship, a traditional relationship, but by modern means and constrictions, bitch, you're going to have to do some motherfucking compromise. If you don't want to compromise monetarily, Your ass better get in that goddamn kitchen and cook and get domesticated. Learn how to knit and sew. That shit got to be balanced. You want his ass to go out here and do all the work, and you got to do domestic. If you don't want to do all the domestic, then you better split the shit in two, goddamn. You do this, you do that. But you have to put something in that damn, put some fucking effort in if you want the full amount of that goddamn check. That bitch worth that bitch, listen, that bitch worth $5,700. Bitch, you gonna put that effort in $5,700. Laying on your ass ain't gonna get you $5,700. Or whatever high value number you want to put in your head for my allegory. The analogy. Effort need to be put in to maintain that balance. If you want him on the high level, bitch, you need to get on the high level and balance this shit out with his ass. If not, both y'all gonna fucking talk. With that rant, I thank you for coming by. Hope you was educated, enlightened, and informed. As well as entertained. And feel free to come on by any other time. And feel free to bring the subject to talk about. I don't like to be the only one rambling. With that, I yield the floor.
And yes, with that, it's time for us to head on out. Once again, it's great to have Mayo on the show. Been a while, but I don't think it's anything else that needs to be said. This has been a very eventful show, and I think it's time for us. Yes, time for us to go ahead and head on out. But other than that, see y'all on Wednesday, and remember, we control the narrative. As for Mayo, Beast Johnson, and me as your gracious host, Dada Montemo, thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all on Wednesday. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye. Have a great one. And also, we'd like to thank Cheddar Boy Popcorn for sponsoring the show, as well as Sky Zone Society for sponsoring Beast Community segment as well. But yeah, it's time for us to head on out here. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye. See y'all on Wednesday.
Peace.